Lesson 1: Musical Tastes and Media Choices.
Hard rock music appeals to many for its energy and intensity.
Others specialize in country music and cherish storytelling and roots.
Some people prefer radio stations that curate familiar hits.
Radio programming reflects demographics and regional tastes.
Do algorithms on streaming platforms challenge radio's local role?
Algorithms personalize playlists but can create echo chambers.
Will curated radio hosts still provide human context and commentary?
Live hosts offer local news, interviews, and spontaneous reactions.
Could streaming services and radio coexist by serving different needs?
They can. Choice expands access while preserving communal listening.
Is it controversial when streaming algorithms prioritize profit over diversity?
Profit motives may narrow exposure to emerging or niche artists.
Do public radio stations counterbalance commercial influence?
Public broadcasters often promote cultural diversity and educational content.
Will hard rock communities form strong subcultures around live shows?
Live concerts and festivals forge intense communal bonds and identity.
Do country music fans value authenticity and narrative continuity?
Country audiences often connect to songs about everyday life and heritage.
Are regional radio stations essential for preserving local music scenes?
Local stations amplify community artists and sustain cultural ecosystems.
Could consolidation of radio ownership threaten local voices?
Consolidation can homogenize playlists and reduce local programming.
Should regulators consider diversity of ownership to protect variety?
Regulatory measures can incentivize local content and independent stations.
Does streaming democratize distribution for independent artists?
Streaming lowers barriers to entry but requires promotion to gain traction.
Are there debates about fair compensation from streaming platforms?
Many artists criticize low per-stream payouts and call for reform.
Could subscription tiers and direct fan support improve artist income?
Fan funding, merchandise, and live events supplement streaming revenue.
Will radio remain relevant for commuters and casual listeners?
Radio's ease of use and curated format keep it popular for daily routines.
Do genre loyalties influence social identities and group affiliation?
Musical preferences often signal values, experiences, and social belonging.
Could controversies arise when stations label genres too narrowly?
Rigid labeling overlooks hybrid forms and evolving musical expression.
Should programmers include cross-genre showcases to broaden horizons?
Cross-genre programming introduces listeners to new sounds responsibly.
Will music education in schools affect long-term listening diversity?
Early exposure cultivates appreciation for a wide range of styles and histories.
Are festivals important for showcasing both mainstream and niche artists?
Festivals create discovery spaces and generate cultural momentum for artists.
Could the dominance of megafestivals eclipse local music traditions?
Mega events may overshadow local venues unless balanced by grassroots support.
Should streaming services improve discovery algorithms to favor diversity?
Algorithm tweaks could promote lesser-known artists and reduce concentration.
Will emergent audio formats, such as spatial audio, change listener habits?
New formats can enhance immersion and influence production and performance styles.
Are there ethical concerns about algorithmic gatekeeping in music?
Lack of transparency and bias in algorithms raises accountability questions.
Should listeners be encouraged to support artists directly when possible?
Direct support strengthens artist viability and fosters meaningful fan relationships.
Can radio and streaming collaborate on promotional partnerships?
Collaborations can expand reach while maintaining editorial integrity.
Will podcasts and talk radio complement musical programming effectively?
Spoken word content deepens context and engages listeners beyond songs.
Is it important to highlight underrepresented genres in mainstream media?
Inclusion enriches cultural conversation and provides opportunities for diverse artists.
Could policy interventions balance market forces to protect cultural plurality?
Thoughtful policies can preserve public interest and safeguard cultural ecosystems.
Are listener habits shaped more by convenience or by cultural values?
Both convenience and values interact to shape musical consumption patterns.
Will younger generations blend genres more fluidly than their predecessors?
Younger listeners often embrace genre fluidity and eclectic personal playlists.
Do radio stations need to innovate to remain competitive and relevant?
Innovation in formats, community engagement, and digital presence help sustain radio.
Should music critics and curators advocate for both quality and experimentation?
Curators can champion craftsmanship while encouraging adventurous listening.
Can controversy about commercialization of music lead to constructive reform?
Debate can motivate industry changes that prioritize creativity and fairness.
Will educational content about music history enhance listener appreciation?
Historical context deepens understanding and fosters critical listening skills.
Should platforms disclose how they rank and recommend music to users?
Transparency empowers listeners and promotes fairer discovery practices.
Could hybrid radio formats that include live sessions and interviews attract subscribers?
Hybrid formats add value by combining curated music with exclusive, human content.
Will community radio remain a training ground for future broadcasters and musicians?
Community stations nurture talent and maintain vibrant local cultural life.
Should artists diversify income streams to reduce reliance on single platforms?
Diversification builds resilience and long-term sustainability for creators.
Will debates about intellectual property adapt to new distribution realities?
Legal frameworks will need to evolve to balance rights, access, and remuneration.
Are passionate arguments about genre purity productive or limiting?
Passion is valuable, but rigid purity can stifle innovation and dialogue.
Do you believe balanced discourse about music business practices will attract viewers?
Thoughtful debate, practical advice, and real examples capture attention and educate.
I will design engaging episodes that compare hard rock, country, radio, and streaming, highlight controversies, and equip learners with clear vocabulary and respectful perspectives.
Lesson 2: The Rum and Soda Ritual.
Rum and soda water sounds simple enough. What is the process?
The process begins with selecting a quality rum and fresh soda water.
Should one choose light or dark rum for a classic mix?
Light rum offers a cleaner, brighter profile, while dark rum adds depth and spice.
Will the choice of rum change the balance of the drink significantly?
Yes, rum character alters aroma, sweetness, and perceived strength.
Should the glass be chilled before preparation?
Chilling the glass preserves carbonation and enhances refreshment.
Will ice quality matter in the final drink?
Clear, hard ice melts slowly and maintains dilution control.
How much rum should be poured for a standard serve?
A typical measure is 1.5 to 2 ounces of rum.
Should soda water be added gently to preserve effervescence?
Pouring soda slowly over the back of a spoon protects the bubbles.
Will stirring be necessary after combining rum and soda?
A light stir distributes flavors without flattening the carbonation.
Should citrus be included for aromatic lift?
A twist or wedge of lime brightens the drink and balances sweetness.
Will muddled fruit or herbs create a more complex variation?
Muddled mint or citrus can add freshness but changes the classic simplicity.
Should one consider the ratio of rum to soda for personal taste?
Adjust ratio gradually to find the ideal strength and flavor balance.
Will using flavored soda alter the authenticity of the cocktail?
Flavored sodas introduce distinct profiles and move the drink away from the classic form.
Should bitters be added for subtle complexity?
A dash of aromatic bitters can add nuance without overpowering the base.
Will glassware shape affect the drinking experience?
A highball glass preserves effervescence and accentuates visual appeal.
Should garnishes be modest to maintain elegance?
Minimal garnishes keep focus on the spirit and effervescence.
Will shaking the drink produce a frothier texture?
Shaking with soda flattens carbonation and is therefore discouraged.
Should measurements be precise for consistent results?
Consistent measures produce predictable quality, especially for educational content.
Will temperature control of ingredients impact the result?
Chilled rum and soda maintain crispness and refreshing character.
Should quality of soda water, including mineral content, be noted?
Mineral composition influences mouthfeel and perceived minerality in the drink.
Will trends toward artisanal sodas change customary practice?
Artisanal sodas expand options but require careful pairing with rum.
Should bartenders explain provenance and tasting notes to patrons?
Sharing provenance educates consumers and deepens appreciation.
Will legal and social responsibility be discussed when presenting cocktails?
Responsible drinking and legal age compliance must be emphasized in every lesson.
Should mocktail alternatives be offered for non-alcoholic viewers?
Non-alcoholic versions respect inclusivity and broaden audience reach.
Will the simplicity of rum and soda make it a teaching favorite?
Its simplicity allows focus on vocabulary, ratios, and sensory description for learners.
Should cultural context of rum and its origins be included?
Historical context enriches understanding of the spirit and its global journeys.
Will controversy arise from glamorizing alcohol in educational content?
Sensitive framing and clear warnings minimize harm and respect diverse audiences.
Should pairings with light snacks be suggested for balanced consumption?
Simple pairings, such as salted nuts or citrus tapas, complement the drink.
Will demonstrations include slow motion pour and close-ups for visual learners?
Visual techniques engage viewers and clarify preparation steps for language learners.
Should pronunciation of key terms like highball and muddle be modeled?
Pronunciation practice aids vocabulary retention and speaking confidence.
Will comparisons to similar drinks, such as rum and cola, be instructive?
Comparisons highlight flavor differences and social perceptions of mixes.
Should timing and pacing of the demonstration be deliberate for learner comprehension?
Slow, measured steps with clear short sentences support understanding and repetition.
Will safety notes about drinking and transport of alcohol be included?
Safety guidance about consumption and public regulations must be explicit.
Should viewer engagement be invited through suggested ratios to test at home?
Encouraging experimentation fosters active learning and community discussion.
Will trending cocktail culture and sustainability topics be addressed?
Discussing sustainable spirits and recyclable packaging aligns with contemporary concerns.
Should the lesson encourage seeking local legal age information before attempting recipes?
Confirming local laws protects viewers and models responsible behavior.
Will the final presentation model a short tasting script for learners?
A concise tasting script teaches descriptors and polite commentary for social settings.
Should the host clarify that alcohol is optional and provide a refreshing soda alternative?
Explicit alternatives ensure inclusivity and respect for non-drinking viewers.
Will demonstrations emphasize cleaning glassware and equipment after use?
Proper cleanup models responsible hospitality and kitchen hygiene.
Should the segment close with a brief vocabulary recap and practice prompts?
A recap reinforces terms and encourages active language practice at home.
Will the video include captions and a printable recipe for study support?
Captions and printables aid comprehension and accommodate diverse learning styles.
Should controversies about alcohol marketing to young audiences be noted?
Addressing ethical marketing concerns demonstrates responsibility and critical awareness.
Will community comments be moderated to maintain respectful discussion about alcohol?
Thoughtful moderation prevents harmful promotion and protects younger viewers.
Should the lesson invite feedback on flavor preferences and cultural variations?
Viewer feedback enriches content development and fosters global exchange.
Will you demonstrate both the classic method and a mocktail alternative?
Demonstrating both provides choice and models inclusive, responsible presentation.
I will present a clear, measured demonstration of rum and soda, explain variations and safety considerations, and offer a non-alcoholic version for inclusive learning.
Lesson 3: Salting, Storing, and Sustainable Seafood Traditions.
Then wash them and salt them. The salted fish are then stored in barrels nowadays.
Salting fish is an ancient preservation method that endures.
Why is salting still used in modern food systems?
Salting reduces water activity and inhibits bacterial growth effectively.
Do contemporary producers follow traditional steps exactly?
Many blend tradition with modern hygiene and quality control practices.
How do producers prepare fish before salting?
They clean, gut, and sometimes fillet fish to ensure even salting.
Is the amount of salt critical for preservation and taste?
Salt concentration must balance microbial safety with palatability.
Are different fish species treated with distinct salting techniques?
Species vary in texture and oil content, which affects salting time and method.
Will barrel storage remain practical for large-scale operations?
Barrels persist for artisanal and cultural products, while industrial tanks scale production.
Does barrel storage influence flavor through slow maturation?
Barrel aging can concentrate flavors and develop desirable textures over time.
Should producers monitor humidity and temperature in storage areas?
Controlled environments prevent spoilage and maintain consistent quality.
Are there controversies about high-sodium foods and public health?
Excessive sodium intake poses cardiovascular risks and warrants informed consumption.
Could the popularity of salted fish conflict with nutrition guidelines?
Balancing tradition and health education helps consumers make informed choices.
Will labeling and portion guidance mitigate health concerns?
Clear labeling and serving suggestions support healthier consumption patterns.
Are environmental impacts of fishing relevant to salted fish production?
Sustainable sourcing is critical to prevent overfishing and habitat damage.
Should producers use certified sustainable fisheries where possible?
Certifications and traceability strengthen ecological responsibility and consumer trust.
Do small communities rely on salted fish for cultural identity and economy?
Many coastal communities depend on preservation practices for livelihoods and heritage.
Will industrialization threaten artisanal salt curing traditions?
Industrial pressures can marginalize traditions, yet some adapt and find niche markets.
Could revival of artisanal methods become a trending gastronomic movement?
Culinary interest in heritage foods often creates demand for authentic production.
Are there ethical debates about labor conditions in fish processing?
Working conditions and fair wages are important concerns that require oversight.
Should consumers consider social responsibility when purchasing salted fish?
Ethical consumption includes assessing environmental and labor standards.
Will technological advances reduce salt usage while preserving safety?
Innovations like high-pressure processing can lower salt needs and maintain safety.
Could reduced sodium products alter traditional flavor expectations?
Adjusting recipes may change taste profiles, prompting mixed reactions among consumers.
Should educational content explain both technique and health context?
Balanced education informs culinary appreciation and public health awareness alike.
Will packaging innovations extend shelf life without compromising tradition?
Improved packaging can protect quality and reduce waste while honoring technique.
Are there legal standards for salt curing and storage in different countries?
Regulations vary and aim to secure food safety and accurate labeling for consumers.
Should small producers receive support to meet regulatory requirements?
Technical assistance helps artisans comply with law and access broader markets.
Will salted fish feature in trending culinary shows and travel content?
Visual, sensory-rich stories about heritage foods often attract widespread interest.
Could sensationalized portrayals risk misrepresenting cultural significance?
Respectful storytelling must avoid exoticism and present context with care.
Should creators include recipes and serving suggestions for salted fish?
Practical recipes help viewers appreciate flavor and incorporate products responsibly.
Will demonstrations of safe home curing practices be controversial?
Home curing carries safety risks, clear warnings and strict guidance are necessary.
Should content highlight sustainable alternatives and moderation in consumption?
Promoting moderation and sustainability aligns culinary pleasure with responsibility.
Will traceability features and QR codes increase consumer confidence?
Traceability provides provenance, fosters trust, and supports informed choices.
Are there cultural rituals associated with the salting and storage process?
Many communities observe rites and seasonal patterns tied to preservation activities.
Should these rituals be documented respectfully for educational content?
Respectful documentation preserves heritage and honors community ownership of practices.
Will market demand for salted fish remain steady or fluctuate with health trends?
Demand responds to culinary trends, health guidance, and cultural revitalization efforts.
Could fusion cuisine incorporate salted fish in novel, hyped recipes?
Creative chefs often blend tradition with innovation, creating trending dishes.
Is there room for controversy when culinary trends meet sustainability and health concerns?
Controversy arises but can lead to constructive dialogue and improved practices.
Should educational videos include short vocabulary lists about curing techniques?
Vocabulary lists assist language learners in understanding technical terms and contexts.
Will comparative demonstrations of traditional and modern methods engage viewers?
Side-by-side comparisons offer visual learning and spark informed discussion.
Should lessons encourage respectful tasting and cultural curiosity among viewers?
Respectful tasting fosters appreciation without appropriation or disrespect.
Will highlighting community voices add authenticity and ethical depth?
Including local producers and elders ensures authenticity and honors expertise.
Should content creators provide resources for sustainable purchasing options?
Linking to certified suppliers and educational resources empowers responsible consumption.
Will the topic of salted fish continue to inspire trending, educational content?
With thoughtful framing, it can remain both culturally rich and widely engaging.
I will present the process, emphasize safety and sustainability, and honor cultural traditions while informing and engaging learners.
Lesson 4: Fresh finds and shopping manners.
On sale and looked really fresh, perfect, I will add that to my shopping.
Fresh produce on sale makes planned meals more affordable.
Which items caught your attention first at the market?
The tomatoes were vibrant and fragrant, signaling ripeness.
Did you inspect them for firmness and blemishes?
I checked for a slight give without soft spots or cracks.
Will you pair those tomatoes with other seasonal vegetables?
Seasonal pairings often yield better flavor and lower cost.
Should we prioritize produce with clear origins and labels?
Labels help trace quality, farming practices, and reduce uncertainty.
Do you consider organic certification when shopping on sale?
Organic choices matter to some, but budget and availability influence decisions.
Will local, in-season items often be fresher than imported ones?
Local items typically travel less and retain more flavor and nutrients.
Should we smell herbs and greens to evaluate freshness?
Fragrant, crisp herbs indicate freshness more reliably than appearance alone.
Will you choose leafy greens that feel firm and not slimy?
Firm leaves and bright color suggest recent harvest and good storage.
Should we inspect packaging for leaks or damaged seals?
Intact packaging protects quality and reduces the risk of contamination.
Will you compare unit prices to find the best value for money?
Unit prices clarify cost per weight and prevent misleading bargains.
Should we consider shelf life when selecting items on sale?
Shorter shelf life means quicker use or appropriate preservation plans.
Will you plan meals around perishables to avoid waste?
Meal planning ensures perishables are consumed while fresh and delicious.
Should we bring reusable bags and containers to the market?
Reusable bags reduce waste and present a tidy, responsible image.
Will polite bargaining be acceptable at some vendors?
In many markets, respectful negotiation is part of the culture and can yield savings.
Should we learn simple phrases for asking about price and freshness?
Phrases such as "How fresh is this?" and "Is this local?" facilitate clear communication.
Will asking for a small taste be appropriate for fruits in some markets?
Tastes are often permitted when offered, but always ask first to show respect.
Should we avoid wasting food while sampling at stalls?
Responsible sampling preserves the vendor's stock and community goodwill.
Will you check for visible pests or wilting before purchase?
Visible problems indicate poor storage and should be avoided for safety.
Should we separate raw meats from produce in our shopping cart?
Separating items prevents cross-contamination and preserves food safety.
Will cold chain items require quick transit to refrigeration?
Perishable cold items must be chilled promptly to prevent spoilage.
Should we consider frozen alternatives when fresh options are scarce?
Frozen produce can retain nutrients and reduce waste when fresh is unavailable.
Will reading expiration dates on packaged goods prevent surprises?
Dates help plan consumption and avoid accidentally buying near-expiry items.
Should we support small local producers when possible?
Supporting locals strengthens the community and can ensure traceability.
Will you prepare a list before shopping to avoid impulse purchases?
A list focuses choices, controls budget, and reduces time spent browsing.
Should we set a modest budget for treats or indulgent items?
A small treat can elevate meals while keeping overall spending responsible.
Will price promotions always mean better value?
Promotions require careful comparison. High discount on overpriced goods may not be a bargain.
Should we check for bruises under packaging by gently pressing?
Gentle pressing can reveal hidden bruises without damaging the item.
Will seasonal abundance affect future cooking plans and preservation methods?
Abundance invites canning, freezing, and creative recipes to extend use.
Should we consider community-supported agriculture or subscription boxes?
CSA programs offer reliable seasonal produce and support local farms directly.
Will learning food preservation techniques reduce waste and save money?
Preservation skills extend freshness and encourage creative meal planning.
Should we inquire about promotional limits or quantity restrictions at checkout?
Knowing limits prevents disappointment and respects vendor policies.
Will we check our receipt to verify sale prices and discounts?
Verifying receipts prevents billing errors and ensures fair transactions.
Should we remain courteous when addressing pricing discrepancies?
Polite communication often resolves issues smoothly and preserves mutual respect.
Will carrying small bills and exact change be appreciated by some vendors?
Exact change speeds transactions and is convenient for market sellers.
Should we avoid crowding the stall while other customers shop?
Considerate spacing allows vendors to serve efficiently and reduces stress.
Will offering thanks and a smile build rapport with regular sellers?
Gratitude fosters friendly relationships and may improve future service.
Should we report any food safety concerns to market management politely?
Reporting concerns helps maintain standards and protect the community.
Will sharing recipes that use sale items be valuable for viewers?
Recipe sharing demonstrates practical use and inspires budget-friendly cooking.
Should content emphasize short, formal sentences to aid English learners?
Clear, concise sentences help learners follow shopping language and routines.
Will discussing controversies like food labeling or marketing tactics be relevant?
Thoughtful discussion of labeling and marketing informs consumers and sparks dialogue.
Should we encourage viewers to ask vendors about farming practices openly?
Open questions promote transparency and connect consumers with their food sources.
Will documenting the market visit visually increase engagement for the channel?
Visuals enhance learning and attract viewers seeking authentic, actionable content.
Should we highlight sustainable choices like reducing packaging and buying local?
Emphasizing sustainability educates viewers and models responsible habits.
Will we plan to cook with these fresh finds and demonstrate step by step?
Cooking demonstrations transform ingredients into learning opportunities and tasty results.
I will add the fresh, sale item to my list, purchase responsibly, and prepare a clear, engaging recipe demonstration for our viewers.